Some of the most important foods have been hard to find. Now, suddenly, one key item is back. Prices are shifting, shelves seem full, but a storm is brewing. This is your window, and what you do this month is going to matter. What to get this month before it's unavailable or unaffordable. Hey guys, it's Jara with Wicked Prepared. We are facing a perfect storm of chaos, volatility, and shifting systems. And at a time when preparing for an uncertain future is more important than ever, it's also becoming more difficult than ever. Rising prices, supply chain choke points, and quality quietly slipping away as corners get cut. And it's all working against us right now. What you buy and when you buy it can make all the difference. We all need to make our dollars stretch as far as possible. So today, I'm sharing my strategic May stock up list. Let's start with what's actually happening right now, because on the surface, things don't look that bad. Shelves are mostly full. Stores feel normal for the most part, but underneath that, there are some shifts happening that are worth paying attention to. We're seeing rising prices across a lot of different categories, but not evenly. Some things are quietly getting more expensive week by week, while other things are actually being discounted pretty heavily right now. And that's usually not random. When you start seeing those kind of mixed signals, it's often a sign that stores are trying to move certain inventory while other products are getting harder or more expensive to bring in. We're also seeing more pressure on supply chains. Not always enough to empty shelves completely, but enough to create inconsistencies. One week something is fully stocked, the next week it's limited or just gone altogether. And then there's the quality side of things. This is a little more subtle, but it's happening. More substitutions, more fillers, ingredients we can't trust, smaller quantities for the same price, things that look the same on the outside, but they're definitely not the same once you actually start using them. So when you put all of this together, rising prices, inconsistent availability, and quality quietly slipping away, it creates a situation where timing matters more than ever, because right now there are still opportunities to get ahead of it, to find things on sale, to stock up while they're easy to get before the prices rise, before those windows start to close. I want to start with a few things that may have a tight window of discount or a tight window of availability. As of right now at Walmart, there's a few really good, notable good deals as I'm recording this video. Keystone canned meats. I saw markdowns on cases of the 28-ounce cans. I saw beef, ground beef, pork, and chicken all marked down. And it made those cases considerably less than even buying directly from Keystone, especially when you consider the free shipping from Walmart. I also saw a deal on the 14-ounce single can of beef and the single 28-ounce can of pork. Now, these are online deals that anybody can get and order. The single cans you might actually be able to find in your store, depending on where you live. The in-store price could vary though, and with the price of gas, why not just have everything shipped right to you, right? Walmart is already the best place that I know of to buy Keystone meats as far as price goes, and these discounts make it even better right now. Because it's Walmart, there's no guarantee on how long these prices are going to last, and there's no guarantee how long they're going to stay in stock. If they show out of stock, but they still show the markdown price, keep an eye on those, because I've seen them go out of stock and come back in several times since these prices dropped. These meats are great quality. They're a really good item to have in your preps. Especially keep an eye out for the beef products, because we all know that low supply is driving beef prices up across the board. And so deals on beef in any form are golden. Another deal at Walmart to look for right now, look at emergency backup lights, power failure lights. These lights are a perfect first layer to your emergency light system. They plug into an outlet, they keep themselves charged, and then when they sense that the power's gone out, they automatically come on. And at that point, you can either just leave them where they are for ambient lighting or pathway lighting, or you can actually remove them, unplug them, and carry them around with you like a regular flashlight. If you strategically locate one in every room, you can create your own emergency backup lighting system so you are never left in the dark in a power outage. I found a deal on this one. That's a GE brand. And we've had several different brands over the years, and we still have most of them, honestly. What I like about this GE one in particular is that it also has a nightlight mode on it. Walmart also has some Energizer brand of the same type of light. We have a lot of these Energizer ones. They're really good lights too. The Energizer ones aren't on sale right now, but there is an Ibotta rebate for Energizer lights that will work on these. I'll talk a little bit more about how this works a little later in the video. And I'm going to leave a link down below for you to get these rebates. There is also Walmart cash available on these, and I'll tell you why the Ibotta option is better just a little bit later. But either way, it's a good time to save some money on a backup lighting plan for your home. With summer coming, storms, hurricanes, rolling blackouts, and all of the other possibilities looming ahead, it's a good thing to do in the month of May. Not to mention, emergency lights is something that's probably going to be going up in price due to a mixture of different factors like tariffs, increase in cost of materials and components. So buying extra right now is just smart. I do want to mention, of course, that with Walmart, the deals can change a lot pretty quickly. These are online deals that anybody should be able to get no matter where you are, but it can change. One thing to do if you don't want to miss out on deals like this is I have a Deals and Steals group. I'll talk about that a little bit later, and I post these things as I find them. YouTube videos have to be edited, so there's a little bit more lag time and when I get that out. So sometimes deals could be gone by then, but check out that Facebook page for more up-to-the-minute information. Now I want to come back to something that I mentioned earlier. There is one category this month that's just hit shelves right now, and it hasn't been available for a while. And this is one of those moments where availability can change pretty fast, and when it does, it usually comes back more expensive or becomes harder to get. So for a lot of people, this is one of the most relied on foods in their kitchen, and that's eggs. More specifically, a really high quality, long-term egg option. With something like eggs, there's several options out there, but they're not always created equal. If you've tried some of them, you know what I mean. A lot of options. People buy them, they try them, and they say, it'll work for baking. But you really can't use it to eat, like scrambled eggs, an omelet, or something like that. At least you wouldn't want to. Once upon a time, we had a shelf-stable egg option that was a standout. You could eat it as eggs. You wouldn't even realize that you weren't eating fresh eggs. And that product hasn't been available for over 6 months. We have been working really hard to get it back, and it's finally available. At least as of the time that I'm recording this, it is. I will say these new releases have been selling out really quickly every single time. No matter how much more they produce, it always sells out. With everything that's going on in the world, people have just been making it a priority to get good shelf-stable food options into their homes. And that's a good thing, but the high demand means we need to act quickly on a lot of things. But eggs are so important to have in your prepper pantry if you can. They're a good quality, complete protein, which most food storage is deficient of. And eggs, it's a foundational food item. I mean, think about it. Milk, eggs, and bread on every single grocery list ever, right? They're nutritious. They're necessary for so many different recipes, so many different meals. But at the same time, they are volatile in both supply and price. They're easily affected by diseases and so many other factors. So we really never know when the price is going to go high, or the shelves are going to go empty, or the stores are going to impose limits. So it's just a good idea to have a backup supply. It really is. One other thing that's really good and unique about these eggs is that these are coming in a pantry can, which is about a quart size can. So the size is manageable, the price is manageable. So many other egg products out there come in only number 10 cans, so the price is a lot to spend all at once usually. Or they do come in smaller containers, but it's a bag or a plastic jar, so it's not going to have the same long shelf life that these do in a can. So this is the best of both worlds. It's a sealed can with the same shelf life as a number 10 can, but it's a manageable size no matter what size your household or your budget is. And for the really budget conscious, the eggs are also available in a value bundle. It's a breakfast bundle. It includes the pantry can of eggs along with 4 other items in number 10 cans, which are gallon size. It comes with 2 cans of quick oats and 1 can each of instant milk and freeze-dried cranberries. So this bundle covers all of the major macros. You've got protein and fat in the eggs, you've got carbs and fiber in the oats, and you've got the cranberries for fruit. So it's really a good complete breakfast bundle, all sealed for long-term storage, and at a discount for the month of May or while supplies last, because once it's gone, it's gone. And at least for me, being packaged for long-term storage is worth a lot. Think about those oats, for instance. They're a great long-term pantry item, but if you buy them most places that we typically buy oats, think about how they usually come. They're usually in a paper carton, a plastic or paper sack, or something like that. So I then have to package it myself for long-term storage to make it a long-term food, and that takes time and it costs money. Glass jars, Mylar bags, buckets, they all cost money. Oxygen absorbers, that's another cost. And then think about the fact that we don't really have any idea how long those oats have been sitting in that grocery store, sitting in warehouses, sitting on trucks, on the shelves somewhere. We really have no idea how old those oats are or how they've been stored. And they almost certainly have picked up insect eggs along the way that we have to deal with before storing. And we have to just hope that the method we chooses works and doesn't destroy nutrients or cause moisture contamination. We all have to weigh those options and decide what's worth it to us. But for me, when I see a deal on something where that's all been done for me, done professionally, and done when the product was fresh, that's usually something I want to jump on. Now, as always, I will have links down below the video for anything that I talk about today that you might want to check out. If the eggs do happen to sell out, you can text me the word eggs. I'm going to put my number on the screen for you. And I'm going to make a list of people who are waiting if they sell out, and I'll send you a message as soon as they come back in stock. One more thing to look forward to in the month of May, there will be a sale coming up on Wise Harvest freeze-dried fruits and veggies. That sale isn't going to be happening till about halfway through the month. So if you want to be one of the first to know when that happens so that you can check it out before the best deals are gone, then be sure to join my insiders list. And you can do that by texting insider to my number. I'll put it on the screen again. Insiders pretty much hear about every sale as soon as we hear about it. I may text a few times a month, up to a few times a week, just depending on what's going on in the food storage world. And a little bit more big news from Wise Harvest. I know that a lot of you have been patiently waiting for the freeze-dried lemon slices to come back in stock. Those were a huge runaway hit. Everybody wanted those lemon slices. They're great in recipes. Like I made a delicious Greek lemon chicken soup with them. They're great in drinks, even just like lemon water. They're good for so many different things. Well, they are going to be back in stock this month, along with several other items that have been out of stock. So if you want a chance at those lemons when they arrive, you can text lemon to my number to join the list of folks waiting for those lemons. If you've already texted lemon, you don't have to do it again. You are on the list. They just haven't come back in stock yet. So that's another one to look for in May, shelf-stable lemons, which are going to be great going into summer. Now let's move on to some grocery and seasonal deals and things to look for. Your seasonal produce in May is going to include strawberries. That is a big one for May. Artichokes and asparagus still. Rhubarb, this is a favorite of my family. Sweet onions, lettuce and spinach, new potatoes and new peas. Remember that focusing on in-season produce is going to mean better prices, better quality, and plentiful availability. And this is going to help your preparedness in two main ways. Number one, think preservation to build your stockpile. If you can get a great deal on something, especially in bulk, you can usually find some way to preserve the excess, whether it's canning or freeze drying, dehydrating, pickling, or fermenting, or any other way. Depending on where you live, look at local farm stands or you-pick farms for even better deals and fresher quality. Remember, the less a food has to travel, the fresher, healthier, and cheaper it'll be. Besides preservation, though, saving money on plentiful seasonal produce for your present-day meals can free up money elsewhere in the budget to spend on other long-term foods or other prepping needs in general. You don't have to be saving money only on your preparedness items. Any money you save anywhere in your budget is going to free up funds to further your preparedness wherever you need it. We can also find savings in May around a few different themes and holidays. May is Celiac Disease Awareness Month, so look for deals and savings on gluten-free foods if this is something that you need to address in your household. Of course, then there's Cinco de Mayo, and that usually means deals on Mexican food items, things like taco seasoning, salsa, and refried beans. Those are all great prepper pantry items to stock up on. And of course, then later in the month, Memorial Day sales is one to watch for. This is a good time to stock up on condiments, on grilling meats that you can preserve, like can or freeze dry. Also, look for sales on charcoal starting for Memorial Day. Charcoal is great to stock up on for off-grid cooking. I have cooked everything from breakfast to dinner to dessert in Dutch ovens with charcoal briquettes. Make sure that you store your charcoal. If you stock up on it, store it in some way to keep it dry for long term. I like metal trash cans with lids for things like this. And there's also a Kingsford Caddy, which is a plastic thing. It's made for charcoal and it does a really good job of keeping it dry and easily accessible. I've also been seeing this on sale this month, coincidentally, but the prices do seem to be fluctuating a lot. So I'm going to post a few of the best prices down below and hopefully you can catch a deal. Speaking of charcoal, Memorial Day sales are also a great time to get deals on grills and other big ticket items. Memorial Day sales often rival or even beat Black Friday prices. And grills and grilling accessories are great to have for emergency cooking. outdoors, of course. It's not safe to do it indoors, but we always get people who say, you're not going to want to be grilling or cooking outdoors because people will smell your food and come, I don't know, loot and rob you or whatever. And yes, there could come a time when that would come to pass, but think about the scenarios that are most likely to happen, the scenarios that have happened many times in the past and will happen many more times in the future. Things like hurricanes, ice storms, flooding, tornadoes. The storm passes, but the devastation remains. And time again, people are left without power, cut off from stores, cut off from other resources, often for weeks or even months. And for the most part, we don't see looting and rioting and stealing and all of that stuff. We see people coming together. We see neighbors helping neighbors, people cooking and grilling up their thawing freezer contents and sharing it with anyone and everyone around them. So nothing goes to waste and no one goes hungry. Yes, we may encounter situations that will bring out the worst in people at some point. And if that happens, we'll adapt and we'll deal with it as necessary. But we shouldn't base our entire preparedness plan around that possibility when the opposite is much more likely. So there's my TED Talk for the day, I guess. I hope that made sense to everybody. So back to Memorial Day sales. Besides grills, look for deals on things like coolers, like generators. This is still the window of time when we're past winter, but we haven't reached hurricane season yet. So it's a really good time to be shopping for generators before the demand spikes. And of course, Memorial Day sales can really help with that. I'm going to put some links down below to some good deals that are going on at the time of this video on gas generators and solar power stations. One of our favorite companies, Opus, just released a new unit. It's a Guardian 6000. Looks incredible. It is definitely on my list. And they have a great deal going on that right now. So I'm going to link that down below and drop a few coupon codes that you can try and maybe try to find the best price that's available for that. Another big ticket purchase to consider in May, if you have funds, is a home freeze dryer because Harvest Right has a mega May sale going on. And then Stay Fresh also has units marked down as well. As we head into gardening season, some people are looking for a way to preserve their harvest that's better than canning or freezing. Now, freeze drying at home, it's definitely not for everyone. So if you haven't done a lot of research, I highly suggest doing that first before you make any decisions. But if you have research and it's something that you've decided you'd like to try, this might be a good time to get one. But do keep in mind they produce quite a lot of heat. So some folks in warmer climates don't even use theirs during the summer months to keep it from driving up their air conditioning bill. And this is not the kind of machine that you want to just buy and just have it sitting around for months before you get around to testing it out and using it. So take that into consideration as well. All this month in May, still be on the lookout for clearance deals from Winter Gear. I'm still finding things like hand warmers and weatherproofing materials, for instance, on clearance. There's also a lot of smoke and carbon monoxide detectors and that type of safety gear on clearance at a bunch of different Walmart locations, as well as a lot of personal care and hygiene items. It seems to be nationwide. I've seen it at lots of different stores across many states. Of course, it can definitely vary from store to store and state to state. As we head into May, we're also heading into prime foraging season in a lot of the United States. So remember, this can be a way to add to your food supply without even spending a dime. But of course, be sure you know what you're doing because there's some things that have lookalikes that are dangerous. And so if you're not a seasoned forager, there's a ton of resources to learn from, and it is a skill that's well worth developing. Another way to add to your preps in May without spending a lot of money can be yard sailing. In much of the country, this is the beginning of yard sale season. I know it is here. You could save yourself some good money if you come across families who are cleaning out their camping gear, canning supplies, dehydrators, all sorts of other useful items, usually dirt cheap. Another thing to look for in May, check Amazon. They have a lot of deals on NOAA weather radios, and that's going to be really important with storm season coming up and all sorts of different things. They can alert you to all sorts of things. I saw a lot of different deals. I'll link a few of them down below. That seems to be a category that is on sale this month on Amazon. Now, I promised to dive into Ibotta a little bit more for you in this video as well. Ibotta is a rebate app. There's several that I use, but this is by far the easiest and the most useful. So I just look at the app before I head to the store. I check off the rebates that I'm interested in, and then I buy the items at the store. And I can also use the app in the store to scan items I'm buying or considering buying and see if there's a matching rebate. It works at a lot of different stores. For most of the ones that I shop at, like Walmart, for instance, my account is linked. So I don't even have to do anything. It just goes through automatically when I make the purchase. And they even let me know by email if I've missed a rebate for something I've bought so I can go claim it. Now, often you'll see that there's Walmart cash available in the same amount as the Ibotta rebate. You can't use them both at the same time. You have to choose one or the other. I prefer to use Ibotta, and one reason is the bonuses. You can get extra money for completing a certain number of rebates, for instance, and that bulks up the savings, and that's not available on Walmart with the Walmart cash. And then another reason is because often the Ibotta rebate is actually a little bit better than the Walmart one if they're not the same, although they are the same some of the time. And finally, once I've used up all of my Ibotta rebates the maximum number of times, if I still want more of that item, I can then claim the Walmart cash on my next purchase of that item. I'll have a sign up link for Ibotta down below, and if you use that link, it will add an extra $5 to your account when you submit your first rebate. Right now, there are several free drink rebates. Any freebie is definitely worth grabbing because anything you can get for free is going to save you money somewhere else in your budget, or you can use it for bartering if it's not something you would use. And then there's also rebates available right now on Old El Paso items, pre-cooked rice pouches, hamburger helper, and suddenly salad if those are things you use in your pantry. There's some great rebates on toothpaste. This is just to name a few. There's hundreds or thousands of rebates on there, so go check it out. So hopefully this gives you a good idea of what to focus on this month and some of the deals you can get to bulk up your prepper pantry. May is one of those months where things can look pretty normal on the surface, but there's a lot happening underneath. Between shifting prices, inconsistent availability, and that quality quietly changing, this is a time to be intentional, not to go out and buy everything all at once, but to pay attention, to look for the opportunities, and to build your pantry one step at a time. That's how you stay ahead without overspending and without the stress. If you're looking for any of the items that I mentioned, I'm going to have links and resources down below the video to make it easy for you. I also have several resources available to help you find deals and not miss out on things. I've got a Facebook group that I mentioned earlier. It's called Wicked Prepared Prepping Deals and Steals. And this is where I post up-to-the-minute deals when I find them. This is especially good for things like Amazon and Walmart deals. For freeze-dried and long-term food sales, discounts, and coupon codes delivered right to your phone, join my text alert list. You can text alert for the basics, but of course, if you don't want to miss a thing, you don't mind getting up to 2 to 3 texts a week when things are really moving, and you have the ability to just scroll on by any message that doesn't interest you, then you want to text Insider and join the Insiders list. Also, check out tryfreezedried.com for up-to-the-minute deals and coupon codes on the best freeze-dried food sources. Bookmark this site because it is updated often, and you can even sign up for alerts from the page. And this is different from the text alert, so it doesn't have to be one or the other. You can do both for less of a chance of missing out on anything really good. And finally, one of the best ways to be able to afford the things we need for preparedness is to increase our financial preparedness by bringing in a side income. If this is something you've thought about, you're not alone. The majority of Americans are looking for a side income to help them get by or get ahead. We have a few openings working with a small crew, spreading the word about a better way to shop, supporting American-made family-owned business, and cutting ties with big business, those big corporations. If you'd like to learn more about this, text EARN to my number or visit shopabetterway.com/earn. And now I'd love to hear from you. What are you seeing in your area right now? What kind of deals? What are the shelves like? We all have different grocery chains based on where we live, so let's help one another out. What deals have you found, or what are you stocking up on this month? Drop it down in the comments so we can all learn from each other. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, leave me an egg emoji down below. And if you want to keep building your pantry strategically, check out this video right here next. I'm Jara with Wicked Prepared. Survive today, thrive tomorrow. We'll see you next time.